guys, so I have the addicted to blush tag to share with you. I have just jumped on YouTube tonight to check out some of my favorite YouTubers, and I saw that I was tagged from Michelle's Sleepy Time to do this tag, so I definitely had to get into it and do it because blush is definitely one of my most favorite makeup items. Now, it's quite funny that I say that because when I look at my blush collection, I feel like it's not really that big of a collection, but I absolutely love blush. I love watching anything about blush. I just seem to love everything about it. So I'm just going to go through and I'll answer all the questions. I'll have everything linked down below, and I will tag some YouTubers as well, so make sure to check that out. So the first question is, what blush color suits you the most? And I'll probably choose, yes, this MAC blush as the color example. That's probably the best way to put it. This is MAC Springsheen. It's a sheer tone shimmer blush. So the blush color that typically suits me is this sort of like vibrant, bright orange, slightly red, slightly pink, coral, but sort of like a really orangey undertone. That is definitely the blush color that suits me the most. I definitely lean towards these with my skin. I feel like in winter when I get a bit more pale, I feel like I can get away with wearing sort of lighter color blushes and pinker blushes, but as my skin starts to sort of get a bit more tanned in summer, these absolutely pop and I just love wearing them. So it's these types of orange blushes, and this one is again MAC Springsheen. So the second question is pressed cream or loose blush. I actually don't own any loose or any cream blushes. I don't know why, to be honest with you. The only cream products that I really own for the face are bronzer. That's the Chanel Soleil Tan Day Chanel bronzer. I absolutely love that, but as for blushes, because I do get oily skin, I feel like those types of products would just automatically slip off my face, especially on my cheeks and stuff. So I stick with pressed. I just find it's the way to go. Okay, so the next one is favorite shimmery blush. I would probably choose NARS Orgasm. This is an incredibly popular blush. Now, I don't know if I would classify it, I mean, I would classify this as shimmery because it does have a lot of that gold shimmer texture to it, and it does come across on the cheeks. Every time I wear this blush, I always get compliments. For a really long time, I never used it. I felt like I didn't understand the hype. I just totally didn't get it. But then as soon as I started wearing it on the cheeks, I had so many people just notice, you know, and every time somebody, you know, would say, what have you got on your cheeks? It was almost always this type of blush. Now, again, my hands and everything are quite tan, so I don't think I'm going to get a good swatch of this. I'll try. That's probably as good as I'm going to get. Now, these types of pink blushes, I do not lean towards whatsoever, but this one is just so flattering. You can see it has that gorgeous gold sort of chrominess to it, and it really does look beautiful on the face, especially when you have a tan. I can wear this when I'm more fair-skinned as well, and it looks just as beautiful. So that would probably be my shimmery blush, even though you can see it doesn't really come across as shimmery on the skin. It just has that gold sort of duochrome to it, but I will choose that one as my shimmery blush. Okay, next is my favorite matte blush. It is from Becca, and this is the Mineral Blush in Wild Honey. It is a gorgeous brownish, like a tan peach. It's a really hard color to describe. It is a matte finish. I feel like it's one of those blushes that, depending on your skin tone, it may come across as a little bit of a bronzer. On my skin, I feel like it's the perfect color blush when I'm not quite sure what to wear, or I don't want to take away from a certain eye look. It's a really nice staple blush to use. So it's not pink, it's not reddy, it's not orange. It's just very neutral, very bronze sort of like, and it's just one of my most favorites to lean towards. So that is Becca Wild Honey. Okay, so the next one is Favorite Cream Blush, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier. I unfortunately don't own any. The next one is Favorite Drugstore Blush, and I actually do have two of them. The first one was from Rimmel, and I've owned this for a little while now. It's the Lasting Finish Soft Color Blush in 190 Coral, and it is just a really gorgeous, easy, peachy orangey blush. It comes across beautiful on the skin. It's incredibly easy to wear. Again, these are the types of blushes I definitely lean towards that have that sort of orangey sort of undertone. This one here, I love it. Whenever, again, the same with Becca, if I'm wearing a makeup look and I have no idea what blush to use, I always go with this one, and it's always a no fail. It lasts beautifully on the skin as well. It doesn't fade through the day. So that is one. And the other drugstore blush, this is a new one, but I thought I would mention it. It's from Essence, and it is from their Beach Cruises limited edition collection. This is the blush called I Love Summer Break, and it is just as a multicolor blush. It is this amazingly bright sunset ombre blush, and this color is right up my alley. It is just stunning. I love that you can get, you know, sort of like a lighter shade, a medium, or the really dark sort of brighter color if you want. You can mix the whole lot together. This was only a few dollars, which makes it even more amazing, and it's incredibly pigmented. So that is sort of a swatch all over there. And this is just beautiful. So this is this one here, and obviously that's a really heavy swatch, but it's absolutely gorgeous, and I have worn this a few times very light-handedly, and it does come across beautiful on the skin. I love Essence products. They're definitely underrated. They're definitely my two favorite drugstore blushes. The next one is my favorite high-end blush. It would have to be my Estee Lauder Pure Color Blush in 06 Hot Sienna, which is a satin. First of all, the packaging on Estee Lauder is just so impeccably beautiful. It is just absolutely gorgeous. This is one that I did pick up from the US just because they are incredibly expensive here in Australia. This is the color. I actually haven't used this a whole heap. I think I've only ever used this a few times, but I absolutely love this color. I don't know why I don't tend to reach for it. I think because it's that type of shade that isn't within my typical, you know, when you have just certain color blushes that you automatically lean towards, you reach because you know they suit you, they look beautiful, and you don't think, you just grab them. This is sort of out of that comfort zone, I guess, but I still absolutely love it. And I mean, the pigmentation on this is just gorgeous. It's incredibly soft, but it is sort of like that dusty rose type of color, which is just absolutely beautiful. And just put it here. As you can see, it's just gorgeous pigmentation. So it definitely have to be my little Estee Lauder. Okay, so the next one is my favorite bright blush. So obviously putting this one aside, because this would definitely take the cake on that. I don't really own any bright blushes. I feel like they don't really suit me. I feel like they just don't go with my skin tone. Maybe when I'm a lot more pale in winter, maybe they would, but with tan skin like this, I just feel like they don't go for some reason. But the closest thing I have is from Tarte, and this is called Thankful. It's one of their Amazonian clay blushes. It's definitely, I don't know if I would call it bright. I think it's just more of a Barbie candy type pink. I mean, yeah, on my skin it is quite bright. It's just here. So you can see it kind of like it really just stands out on my skin, and it is just a really true Barbie pink. I have worn this a few times, and I don't mind it on my skin, but it's definitely not something I lean towards. I do love Tarte blushes. I only have two. I've got Thankful and I have Memorable, and these were from their Christmas set, you know, a few years ago. This one is sort of more of a color that I wear. It's sort of more of a darker purple, mauvey kind of color. So I've just swatched it next to it. So you can see it's just a little bit deeper, not so in your face and not so bright. So I do get a little bit more use out of Memorable. But yes, so that's the bright blush. Now the next one is Biggest Blush Disappointment or Regret. Now, to be honest, I really don't have one. I mean, I have gone through a lot of decluttering. I've sort of moved out a lot of items from my collection that I haven't used or that I haven't enjoyed. So I've just sold them at sales and markets and all sorts of things. So I feel like I have downsized my blush collection quite a bit. One I will mention is actually from Milani. Now, when I first got this blush, I was disappointed. I didn't understand the hype. I didn't like it, but I have to say the more I used it, the more I really fell in love with it. So I'll mention this one. It's the Baked Blush in Luminoso. This is so incredibly hyped here on YouTube. This Luminoso shade, it's like a shimmery peachy orangey blush. Now, when you first get this, it has a lot of shimmer. It has like an overspray of shimmer. And I felt like for the first 10 times I ever used it, I was just putting just glitter on my face. Like it was just so full on. And I just sort of felt like every time I used it, I would just be a glitter ball. And I'm like, what is going on with this blush? Like, why does everyone love it? But I finally got to a stage where I've actually sort of skimmed that off the surface, and it's really gorgeous. It's definitely one of my go-to blush colors. So it's just this one here. Again, it's like a really nice, natural, easy blush to wear. It's at the bottom here. Again, you can see the theme with all these sort of orangey sort of type blushes. Now, you really don't get a lot of shimmer in this bottom one here. Compared to what you think it may show, because in the pan it does look quite shimmery, but definitely when you swatch it, a lot of that does go away and you're just left with this really gorgeous peachy coloured blush. So that is Milani Luminoso. And for anyone wondering, here in Australia, I'm pretty sure I bought that from like one of these US type makeup websites, like it was like Cherry Culture or Beauty Joint, I think is the other one. There's a few of them, but that's where I got it from. I don't know if you can actually buy them anywhere here in Australia. I think you just have to buy them online. Best blush packaging. I would say the Estee Lauder blush packaging is just absolutely beautiful. The one downside with it is that it's quite large because it gives you the room for the little, you know, blush brush. So it's quite large. I mean, it is absolutely gorgeous, but my next close favorite would have to be Becca. I love the packaging. It's just that really rubbery MAC type, sorry, not MAC, NARS type feel, rubbery packaging. And then you've got this sort of metal disc. You also get a really nice mirror, which I really love. I'd have to say Becca blush definitely have one of my most favorite packaging types. So what's on my blush wish list? Now, every time I see videos of people talking about blush, I'm always adding things. So to be honest, half of them I can't remember because I have so many. I've always wanted to try MAC Warm Soul. I feel like it would be a really nice sort of colored blush that I would get a lot of use out of. I have wanted to try Tarte Exposed blush. Again, that's sort of like that bronzy brown type of blush color. I don't own like a full-size Tarte blush, so I feel like that'd be a really nice color to sort of get introduced to. I will list some of them here of some other blushes. I'm sure when I go to edit this, I'll think of a whole heap of different ones. So if there's any others that are on my wish list, I'll try and put them on the video somewhere here for you guys. And on to the last, which is my #1 Holy Grail blush. Definitely is my Becca blush. This is the mineral blush. This one is in Songbird. This has taken over all my other blushes. Again, it's incredibly similar to so many colors I have. but it is definitely my number one. I love this so much. Every time I wear this, I get compliments. It's very similar to the NARS Orgasm blush in the sense that whenever I wear it, it's just very noticeable. People just tend to, they just tend to notice these types of colors on me for some reason. I'd say this is a satin. It looks like it has a really slight sheen to it, but this is just so pretty. Again, you'll see how similar this is to a lot of my other ones. I've done a massive swatch on the side there. These are the types of blushes that just suit my skin. They look just gorgeous. This is sort of like your orangey, like a dark pink orange copper, slightly copper type color blush, and it has a really beautiful gold sort of sheen to it. Oh, it's so beautiful. And it's incredibly pigmented. Like, this will last me forever. Absolutely love it. Just holy grail. If you like these types of orangey blushes, out of all of the blushes that I own, check this one out because I'm pretty sure it will become your all-time favorite as well. I absolutely adore it. So that is Becca Songbird. I can't say that word. Songbird. Becca Songbird. They are all my blushes in my Addicted to Blush tag. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what your favorite blush is. I love blush. I'm so addicted to it. I don't actually have that many more blushes that I didn't mention. I'll quickly go through and share with you the rest of my blush collection just so you can see what I actually have in my collection now. So I've got a MAC, a mineralized blush, and this is in Fresh Honey. I believe this was in a limited edition collection a little while ago. It's just a gorgeous orange blush. It's the best way to explain it. I then have a MAC limited edition blush, Seduced at Sea. This is an extra dimension blush. I'm still not quite used to this type of textured blush. I feel like it isn't very pigmented. You do have to sort of pile it on a fair amount. This is just a gorgeous color though. It has this gorgeous sort of silver sheen to it, but it's sort of like a pinky, like a pinky peach type of color. It's so hard to explain, but it is just so beautiful, and I love this packaging so much. I then have Hourglass Mood Exposure Ambient Lighting Blush, and it's just a gorgeous mauvey sort of purpley shade. I don't have any other colors like that, so I do really love wearing this one in winter. I've then got two NARS blushes. I've got a little mini of the Deep Throat. This one I don't get a whole heap of use out of. I use it every now and again more as like a little travel blush, but yeah, it's just a really pretty pinky sheen. It's very easy to wear. And then I have Luster, which is just a gorgeous blush. This is another one I really do love. It's sort of that orangey copper sunrise type of color, and then it has that gold sheen to it, which is just so pretty. I love this blush. This is definitely another one with all the other ones that I said that I just lean towards when I just don't know what color blush to wear, or I have really dark eyes or really dark lips. This just goes beautifully, and it has a really pretty sheen, so you don't need to wear highlighter, and it just goes on the skin just so pretty. So they are all my blushes. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.